Hi everybody, this is Diana from SyS y Salado, and today we're going to make roscones, which is a Colombian sweet round bread that is usually filled with guava or arequipe, which is dulce de leche, and is really easy to make. Very popular in Colombia, which is the reason why so many of you have been asking for this recipe. And as always, the link for that recipe is going to be available at the end of the video and in the info box below. So first we're going to make our dough, and for that we're going to need some dry yeast. And we're going to mix it with some warm milk. We're also going to add a little bit of sugar. Stir everything really well, and then we're just going to set it aside. And we're going to let it stand for about 5 to 8 minutes. Once our yeast is ready, we're going to add 1 large egg and some melted butter. We're then going to whisk this really well, and then we're going to set it aside. Now we're going to mix all of our dry ingredients. So in a large mixing bowl, we're going to add some bread flour. You can also use all-purpose flour, but I love using bread flour for this recipe. We're also going to add some sugar, a little bit of salt, and then we're just going to whisk everything really well. Now we're going to add our wet ingredients into our dry ingredients, and then we're going to knead the dough for about 5 to 8 minutes on medium speed. If you don't have a mixer like this, you can go ahead and knead the dough by hand. After about 5 to 8 minutes, our dough is nice and smooth and elastic. And then we're just going to grease a large bowl with some oil and place our dough in the bowl. We're going to cover it with some plastic wrap. And we're going to let it rise in a warm place for about an hour and a half. After an hour and a half, we can take it out of the bowl. And then we're going to knead it for about a minute just to make it nice and smooth. Then we're going to shape it into a log that measures about 16 inches approximately. It doesn't have to be perfect, so don't worry about perfection. And now all we have to do is cut it into 8 equal pieces. Now we're going to flour our work surface, and then with the help of a rolling pin, we are going to flatten each piece really well, starting from the center all the way down to the edge. And each piece should measure about a foot long by about 5 inches wide. It doesn't have to be perfect, so you can just eyeball it. Now we're going to add our guava paste, and we're going to place it a little bit above the center, leaving some space on the sides, and then we're just going to fold it in. Now I highly recommend using guava paste instead of a jam, because otherwise the jam will ooze out during baking and it's going to be a complete mess. We're also going to make sure that the seam is facing down. And then with a small knife, we're just going to make a few cuts right along the edge. Then we're going to connect the ends to form a ring, and that's all you need to do. to make the arequipe or dulce de leche roscón, we are going to need some solid arequipe, and we're going to place it right above the center. We're also going to leave some room on the sides of the dough. And then we're going to fold the dough over the arequipe. And what I like to do is I like to press it with my fingers just to make sure that nothing comes out during baking. And now all we have to do is just roll it in. Now I highly recommend you use solid arequipe because if you use the regular kind, it's going to ooze out completely during baking. And again, we're going to make sure that the seams are facing down. And all we have to do is connect the ends. We're going to place our roscones on a cookie sheet lined with parchment paper. And then we're just going to cover our roscones with some egg wash. And now we're going to sprinkle some granulated sugar. We're going to let them rise in a warm place for about 20 minutes. And then we're going to bake them at 350 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes or until golden brown. Once they're ready, we're just going to let them cool a little bit on a cooling rack. And that's all you need to do. And that's your recipe for making fluffy and delicious Colombian roscones. If you enjoyed this video and this recipe, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel, which is absolutely free. And to check out the recipe with all of the ingredients and measurements, you can click on Roscones Recipe. And don't forget that you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and Google+. Thanks everybody for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye, and buen provecho.